Sons of Witches is the sixth and the Halloween episode of season 21 of South Park. The premise is that basically most of the men in South Park, they have this whole thing at the week of Halloween. They all go out every night drinking and dressing up as witches. And on the first night of this year, one of them actually has a real witch's book and basically turns into a real witch stealing children, making the town panic. While the side story is with Cartman and Heidi. And Cartman just wants to get rid of Heidi because they have her as the stereotype of a girl who takes ages to get out the door, which is very common to see in many TV shows, mostly in the early 2000s. I don't really see it that often in today's programs. But yeah, it's just that sort of stereotype, and Carmen's sick of it, and he wanted to go to the pumpkin patch, and it was basically closed, and all the best pumpkins were gone, so he just wants to get rid of her. And also, while that's going on, there's a very small story where the boys are trying to get rid of the witch. So my first thoughts on the episode were that I thought it was okay, but the problem that I had with it was it had like these, well, they had the main story, which is mostly the guys dressing up as witches, and then there was like, okay, they don't call it a witch hunt, they call it a witch search thingy, like it changes every time, and that's going on. Then you have the whole thing with Cartman and Heidi, and then you have this is a very mini side story, like it doesn't take too much time with Kyle, Stan, and Butters trying to get rid of the actual witch stealing children. And the problem with this episode is that there is a bit too much going on, that there's no real focus. And it's not until like the last few minutes or so, the witch one, the guys dressing up as witches, I'll call it Randy and the guys, I'll just say it like that, they start to get a bit funnier when one of the characters decides to do something, so the others take it into their own hands to sort of prevent it. And that could have been the whole episode, but instead it waits until the last few minutes, and even then I don't even feel as if we get like a payoff to it as much. And it just could have been so much funnier, and it could have worked a lot better, I thought. But because of the whole, like, they made the whole thing with Cartman and Heidi, they made it more into the episode. Like, it could have been done a lot quicker, but they sort of dragged it out a little bit. And the whole thing with Kyle, Stan, and Butters, again, I could have seen that working as it is, but at the same time, this is a 22 minutes in one episode, and I just felt as if there was too much time restraint. Like, even if you watch the end of this episode, it is like that. It just sorted itself way too quickly, and I just did not think it was as great as it could have been. And it is disappointing considering there's been Halloween episodes from South Park in the past that do a lot better work. Like, just to name some from the top of my head, there was the one with the Corn Groovy Mystery, with the pirate ghosts and the costume party. That worked. There was also the Halloween one where the devil has his birthday party, his Sweet 16. There was even the one a few years ago where Randy bought a Blockbuster. They were still funny, they still worked. But this one, I don't know, I thought the premise was there. The whole idea with the witches and that, it could have worked so much better, but it just didn't. And one thing I did enjoy was when Cartman was trying to get rid of Heidi, and the way that he does get rid of her, which I won't say, but it is kind of funny how he just sort of does it. But at the same time, his leading up to it, there were scenes beforehand where, like, he's planning a different idea and he hears about the idea. That could have been done way quicker. It was dragging out a bit too long there. So my overall thoughts on the episode were that, one, I thought it could have been done a lot better. Dealing with, it has Randy and the other men in South Park just being, their weird selves. And, if it only happened in the last few minutes of the episode, it's not very good. That should have happened way earlier on. And people who've watched the episode should understand what I'm talking about. Some other stuff as well. Heidi and Cartman, I felt that went on a bit too long. It dragged out a little bit, as I said already. The whole thing with Kyle, Stan, and Butters, it wasn't completely necessary. I think that could have actually been a lot better. Maybe even cut those scenes out, and it could have been, there could have been more time towards the main focus, which was the witches. I did like the episode in general, like some quirky moments, like when the guy who turns into a witch, the last scene with him, I actually think that was actually kind of funny, his approach to the other guys. But there's not a huge amount that I can completely say that, oh yeah, this was a great episode to watch. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on this episode. And I think I think next week there's another break. So there's another break next week, so no South Park episodes that week. And hopefully the one after that and all the other episodes after that get a lot better. I probably had too high hopes for this episode because it was a Halloween special. But you couldn't really blame me, considering the Halloween specials that have come before this. They were really good, and I just thought this was a bit disappointing. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Check out more of my videos if you haven't seen them already. Comment down below. Tell me what you guys thought of this episode. If you liked it, fair enough. I don't think any less of you or anything for that. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe. Stay up to date with more videos that I will have in the future. And hopefully I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.